Hey guys, today I didn't start with my normal intro. I'm not in the mood for that, to be honest, because I'm seriously shocked at what we've become. How pathetic we've become. As you can see, I'm of color, which means that I'm not white. And I live in a country in Africa, and you'll know where exactly as this video progress. So what happened, as all the world knew now, is that in the United States, many times, this is not even the first incident, cops attack, mostly kill people because of their color. And this is making me too angry. I'm shaking because I'm of color. Not just because I'm of color, but because seeing the word getting to this extent of pathetic is... Who are you? Who are you? I want to talk about some points. And the first point is that okay, racism is not only in the United States, and I know this. Racism can be in even African countries, and I'll tell you right now why. One day, when one beautiful kid, young man, was going to his school in Egypt. He's from Sudan, and while on the way, kids attacked him, took his bag, bullied him. It's not something dangerous physically, but I'm sure that he was so hurt emotionally and mentally. And the thing is, it bothered me, my family, and most good Egyptians. Not most, actually, like all of them. So sometimes, like, kids make fun, like still colored kids, because I'm talking about Egypt, they still make fun of blacks, because I don't want to use the word black. They're not like black, but yeah, they abuse them, they say bad words, but they do this as jokes. Like, they call them chocolate, or when the weather is hot, they call him the chocolate, which means his skin color will melt. And things like, we had a cartoon about a young boy who lives in Nubian country, a Nubian city, or like in Noba, and he was called, the name of this cartoon and of this boy was Bakkar. So anyone who is black is called this name. Yeah, it's kind of racist. It's not kind of, because I can say that something is kind of racist and others are not. Yes, it's racist. But we didn't feel the amount of violence against black people this much, especially in a country claiming that they're claiming about human rights. And when we had in Egypt some revolutions, they kept talking about how we crossed the line in human rights, which wasn't true. wasn't even true. But if you, America or the United States, are talking about human rights, what about you start applying them? I'm sorry, this will make many American people be offended. I'm not saying that all of you are like that. I know quite well what I'm talking about. There was like the Forsanek report appeared about George Floyd, and I want to take a second to talk about how morbid George Floyd's case was. He was pushed or made to lay down on the ground under a car with the leg or the knee or whatever part it is, I don't care, of the police officer on his freaking neck. Of course he died. He kept begging for mercy and no one cared. The thing that's making me super emotional now is that I'm putting myself in his place. It's not just a physical pain, like your neck is not working anymore, your neck is hurting, it's hurting so bad you can't breathe, you're dying a slow painful death. This is not the only problem. The big problem is how this young man felt while his soul was leaving his body. He felt hated, he felt wronged, he felt that he isn't in the United States of America. He felt that he was belittled, I don't want to keep thinking about how he was feeling in his last seconds, but it's even more annoying because I've been reading about this, and I'm thankful that I read this today and I didn't make the video before this. It's because in the reports of the Forsanek whatever, it was said that he had taken or used, I think it's called Optum in English. It's kind of a drug that it's not good to have drugs, of course. I'm not saying if this is true or false, I don't know about this, and I'm not trying to say that it's true or false. But let's say that it's true. Let's say this. Does this give the right to the police officer to do so? No. Did the police officer know for sure, like a fact, that he endorsed this drug? No. And don't tell me otherwise. Don't try to say otherwise, okay? Because I won't believe you. Because if this was the case, then why do you make the tests? Let's say that, as a matter of fact, George Floyd really took this drug. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure if this is true or false, but I'm saying let's pretend that this happened. Would this give the right to the cops to do so? No. There's a saying in Egypt, and I think it's also in America, that the person is innocent until proven guilty. So, what I want to say is, okay, he's a suspect, but he's innocent until proven guilty. So for now, yes, you killed an innocent soul. Okay, let's pretend that he really took this drug and it was in the tests. Not for real, I'm saying imagine. Not George Floyd in particular, I'm talking about anyone, any color. let's say that yes, for sure, George Floyd took, and he is proven guilty. So, does this give the cops the right to kill him? No. Where are the human rights? Human rights only comes to our country when people had to be executed for their crimes against their country for us. But then you said it's human rights. Not you, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the authorities, or the human rights people. I'm talking basically about when we had the revolution, when we had people vandalizing things, when we had so and so and so, and then people were executed for committing crimes, for killing people like the cops and the army, and I'm going to make a whole video about this later this week. And we were, as a country, accused of being against human rights. So let me tell you, USA, what are you against now killing this innocent or guilty person? What are you against now? Are you still against human rights, or you're against what? I'm going to go to another thing now. As I told you about the young man from Sudan who was bullied. The reaction of our president, who is an awesome guy, he got this guy, this beautiful black guy, a young man. He took him during one of the youth conferences. I think I'll put details and pictures and everything. And he stayed with him the whole time. He talked to him. He corrected the wrongs. What happened in the United States as a reaction? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I know that there are now some revolutions because of it. And this, yes, I'm against racism, I'm against what happened, but I'm still a human and I'm against any vandalization that happens. The same thing happened some in our country. There were not the last president, the one before him, he's called Mubarak. He had some negatives, and people made a revolution to make him go and leave, or to make him correct the things that he had. And he then, long story short, he decided to step out of the presidency. But before he stepped out, people took advantage of the situation and they went to vandalize, to steal, to damage things. Is this right? I don't care about what color you are or who is doing this for which color. I'm not talking about color now. I'm talking about human beings. Can any person in the world do this? Is this right? Is it right to damage your country? It's your country after all. Yes, your country did you wrong and did your people, not your people, I mean the people from the same country, they did them wrong and they're wrong. But can you correct a wrong with another wrong? Of course not. I'm not against the revolutions. I'm not against asking for some rights. I'm not against asking for his right back, George Floyd's right back, because this is what I want to. I want to see the people doing this, the people who did this to him, getting like jail time, whatever the laws are. But what I'm talking about is when you said about, again, it's not about people, it's about authorities. When the authorities or the human rights said how unhumane people or authorities in Egypt are because of executing criminals or jailing criminals, which was not right because the people, our authority or our government, take to jail or to execution are really murderers, and it's another talk, but yeah, it's horrible sometimes. So talking about this, where are the human rights? If he's guilty, even if he's guilty of taking Optim or whatever drug it is it right to take him on the floor and keep your knee or your leg on his neck till he dies? I'm in total shock. Another thing is the kids. If you find two kids of different colors, no matter what colors they are, they're playing together, they're having fun together, they don't see any difference. We are the ones who put the differences. We are the ones who make them see the differences. Why are we polluting their brain? No one is born like that. No one is born racist or hateful or even like other crimes. No one is born bad by any way, but society or parents are the ones who do this. I personally, living in Egypt, we have so many colors, mostly like my color or a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, but yeah, we still have some racists here, but it's not that clear as most of us were of color, as it's said. But what I mean now is I don't know how to put this in words, but it shook me to the core seeing this video. I really didn't want to see it, but I did anyway. And I couldn't believe how people can be this evil. How people can be this ignorant. And the bad thing is some of these people claim that they are religious, of any religion, no matter what. I'm talking about any religion for any racist. How are you even religious? How? I have so much anger inside me, and I thought that I must talk about it. It's hella awful. It's not something that we should see, and this is not even the first case. There's another case that happened a few days ago, similar situation. Someone who, listen carefully, because it's like the funniest thing that I've ever heard. A guy wasn't able to make a complete stop. Someone was driving and there was a stop sign here and he couldn't make a complete stop. What do you think happened? This person was grabbed from his car, thrown on the floor, and they are going to do the same as what happened to George Floyd. Not like, I don't know, I can't predict, but it was the same. He was on the ground, he was crying, he was terrified. His 90 something grandma or mom, I'm not sure, kept begging for mercy, saying that he did nothing, and I'm not sure what happened in the end, but I didn't hear that he died or that he was killed. And while seeing this video, I lost all faith in humanity. I lost every single faith that I have left for humanity. Do you know what crime really this person made? He was black. Imagine with me that you were in a car, you were driving, and you failed to make a complete stop. Why should the reaction be like that? Did he commit a murder? No. Did he stole something? No. I'm not saying that failing to make a complete stop is right or is something that can be taken lightly like that, because it may cause accidents, but still it was in front of his house. He just didn't make a complete stop, which means that he tried. So can you imagine this happening to you? Of course not, because this man was black. So why can kids understand that we're all one and we can't understand that? How come kids are more wise than us and we're the ignorant ones? I don't want to take lots of time in this, but what I want to say is, rest in peace George Floyd. What I want to say is, I know that it's hard for his family and that his last words were him trying to beg for mercy, and it was horrifying for the whole neighborhood if someone watched this. It's traumatizing, but it's a wake-up call. So we need to thank George Floyd for this international wake-up call. We need to start from this day to stop racism. I don't want to sound like an idiot, but each and every person, I'm going to be a little bit cheesy for a second. Each and every person is beautiful for some reason. So I know that some people get hate for their religion, some people get hate for their shape, like fat or thin. Some people get hate for their color, some people get hate for their hair type, some people get hate for so-and-so. And by the way, where I live, many people hate on people with curly hair, like that. It's how things happen sometimes. But is this okay? No. Shall we keep this going on? Of course no. Don't make George Floyd's blood go in vain. You need to stand. You need to... I'm not telling you to go on revolutions or make like parades or marches or things like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we need to speak more about this. We need to be more responsible about this, because this affects the whole world, not just a country or black people or whatever. So that was something totally different. I just had to get things off my chest. I can't bear standing silent like that. I want to show you a doll that I had as a kid, and I had to I was allowed to choose from so many toys, and this is the one that I picked because I liked how it looked. I loved it, and I really wanted it. And it has a significant smell because of the paint used on it. And as I'm asthmatic, I was asthmatic as a kid more than now. Now I'm kind of healed. But yeah, I used to have asthma as a kid, and it was really bad. It got really bad that I had to put the nebulizer, and I was like breathing so hard. Couldn't breathe that well, which is one of the reasons I couldn't stand the sentence "I can breathe" that George Floyd said. That's another thing. So yeah, the paint on the doll that I got had a significant smell that would irritate my lungs more and would make me more and more sick and would make me cough loads and would make me really, really tired. But I refused until now. I'm grown up, I'm 24 years old, and I still refuse to get rid of this toy. So, meet one of my favorite dolls as a kid, which was um, a surprise for me for one of my good grades as a kid. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't ruin your kids' brains. I was lucky enough to live with parents whose brains are working well as normal human. And this was one of the results. Not getting a doll like that, it's not the measure for it, but it means that you understand what's happening. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Say bye. Bye. Bye, guys.